If you find that you need more space in arrangement view, you can click the plus and minus buttons on your keyboard. Click Shift plus to zoom in, while just clicking the minus by itself will zoom out. You can also fold these tracks in to make more room, or drag them out to make them larger. If you hold down Option and then collapse one of these, it'll collapse all of them, or open all of them if you click it. You can click the clip title to select the entire clip and move it. So up here, this entire color is the clip title. I mean by not clicking down here on the waveform or by the MIDI notes. If you click the title up top, then you can move that entire clip. So there's two parts over here, so I can move just this part. You can drop it on one another. You can make a selection and move just that piece. But you can only move it by clicking the color, the clip title. If the track is folded, then you can hold down Shift Option to select just a piece of it so you don't have to unfold it. Also, if there's a part of a clip that you don't like, let's say I want to see how it sounds without this drum at the beginning, I can click the 0 key to deactivate the clip. So now I can listen to it with and without. So instead of deleting it, just in case you may want to keep it for later, you can just deactivate it. Also, if you have a part of a clip selected, you can shift click to extend the selection. In arrangement view, playback begins from the insert marker or selection. So if I have it selected right here, my insert marker is here, if I click play, then it plays from that point. Or if I make a selection, if I just click this clip, it'll play at the beginning of this clip. You can click space to pause, but if you click shift space, it'll continue where you left off. Otherwise, if you just click space, it starts again from the beginning. You can also click the scrub area at the top. Note how my mouse now turns into a little speaker. So if I want to play at the 13, click this little scrub area up top. And remember, it plays to the global quantization. So it won't immediately play once you click, unless the global quantization is set to a very small value. I usually leave it on 1 bar though. If you want to start at the beginning of the track, an easy way is to click the stop button at the top and then click play. Or spacebar works too, because it brings your selection to the very beginning of the track. You can use Command L to loop a selection. So let's say I select right here, Command L brings this little loop bar over. So now this selection will loop if I play it. It just goes right back to the beginning. I can also loop smaller selections. Oops. So even if I have a larger or odd area selected, Command L will loop that. You can also manually just adjust where you want to loop. Using Shift Command L will automatically bring your selection to the loop points. So if you're listening to something over here and click Shift Command L, it brings you over here, brings your selection over here. So now you can listen to this part. A cool thing I use this for is that when I'm ready to export or bounce a track, I'll make the selection over the entire track. I'll be able to work on it and adjust it. And then when I'm ready to listen back or bounce it down or export it, I use Shift Command L to select the entire track, everything I've been working on, and then I can just bounce it down and send it off. If you still want this selection to be there but don't want it to loop, you can always unloop it right at the top. So it's still selecting the entire part, or it's still selecting wherever you have it, if you maybe want to just have that as a start marker. But it won't loop, it'll just keep playing afterwards. You can create mappable locator markers by right-clicking up top, add locator. So I want to add a locator here and here. I can always map these two if I'm playing a live set to play these sections of the song. I can also click this little arrow to play. You can rename these if you want to say, this is the intro, this is the outro, this is the chorus, or this is the verse, if you want to organize your track that way. What I mainly use them for is to locate problems in my song. So maybe I'll hover my mouse over the set button, which will also create a locator wherever your playhead is currently positioned. Or maybe you can map that to a key. So then I would close my eyes and listen to my entire track and then click that button every time I heard something I didn't like or that I thought was a mistake. And then I'll go back and fix all those mistakes later. So let's say all these areas had issues with them. Now I can go back and obviously tell exactly where they are or where I need to fix this. I can rename that to not good, not enough bass, or needs more drums, or anything that helps me out later on if I don't have enough time to necessarily fix it right now. Also, if you're interested in time signature changes, you can right click up here, insert time signature change. So say I want to change this to 3/4 at this exact spot. It's pretty easy to do. And you notice how the grid changes with it. So the grid entirely adjusted. Arrangement editing. You can cut, copy, paste, duplicate, and delete. Just like with things like Microsoft Word and programs that you're used to. So I can command copy, paste. Let's say I want to paste this over here, paste. I can duplicate, so if I like this part right here, command D to duplicate it. You can delete by clicking the delete key. You can also move entire sections around by selecting the loop tool up top. So I have this entire section selected, so now if I drag this, it moves this entire selection over. Another cool thing is inserting silence. So if I have this section selected right here, if I click create, insert silence, or command I, let's say I want 4 bars of silence. Click OK, and it moves everything over, and now I have 4 bars of silence. You can also split and consolidate clips. So let's say I want to split this section right in between here. I can do command E to split it. Now they're 2 individual sections. I'm doing a bunch of splitting here. Let's say let's use a Midi track because it's easier. I split a bunch of selections here. Now if I select all of them, I can right click and consolidate or use command J, and it brings them all back together. And this works for both MIDI and audio. But audio will create a new audio file. That's the only issue. When it's easier to, if you just cut something up, to just bring it all back. But I'll show you. Creating a new audio file, consolidate, notice how it loads, consolidates, and now this is a whole new audio file different than this one. 41-1 versus just snare layer 41. Notice how the name changes slightly.